Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Indy 500 project. Today's experiment is Brothers, A Tale of Two Sons, which has a little interesting background. It is published by 505 Games, but it's developed by Starbreeze Studios. Starbreeze are the creators of the Riddick games, or the Riddick game, and that they kind of redid for the later years then, but they're a little bit of a bigger studio, but apparently this one falls under the guise of indie. And people have been raving about this game. And I'm from what I've heard, it is a really good game. And this might be the reason right here. Listen to this. Guide two brothers on an epic fairy tale journey from visionary Swedish film director Josef Fares and top-tier developer Starbreeze Studios. Now, Josef Fares is a very successful Swedish movie director for his audience. And if you look at his movies, I think that his most biggest claim to fame would actually be the movie Cops, which is a Swedish movie about just some small-time police officers. And some scenes from that movie actually made it into the meme-verse, because there's this scene where the cop is just juggling a gun with his pants and is just kicking it on his knees and just playing hacky sack with it. You can notice that this guy, he grew up in the 80s and 90s. I mean, he knows his audience, and he delivers for his audience. And the way that people talk, the way that people act, it really shows that he is a part of his generation and not just some guy that is making movies. He's actually telling a story that is relatable to people of the same age that grew up in the same kind of that had the same kind of upbringing when it comes to the pop culture and media and stuff like that. So that might be why this game is getting such critical acclaim, because I do believe that he understands what he's doing with a video game. He's not a movie director that just wants to tell a story and decided to make a video game. He actually knows what a video game is supposed to be. But I don't know that yet. We'll have to find out. Let's listen to what else the game has to say about itself. Control both brothers at once as you experience co-op play in single-player mode like never before. Solve puzzles, explore the varied location, and fight boss battles, controlling one brother with each thumbstick. This is a note. I'm playing with a 360 controller, and as far as I know, there's no other way to control this game. You have to have a controller of some sort. And you control one guy with one thumbstick and the other guy with the other thumbstick. So we're gonna explore that later on. A man clinging to life, his two sons, desperate to cure the ailing father, are left with but one option. They must set out upon a journey to find and bring back the water of life, as they come to rely on another to survive. One must be strong where the other is weak, brave where the other is fearful. They must be brothers. This is one journey you will never forget. Let's see if that actually is the case. Let's see what the game has to offer. It's a beautiful game nonetheless. New game, please. Yeah, here's the thing. We did a recording of this already, and the sound didn't record. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna play this game from the beginning, and we're gonna play the same areas. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna talk a little more about the game, since we don't have to really solve the puzzle. So you can see this as a sort of a walkthrough for the first part of the game.
Hinahi, walahi, hina albi, albi.
Nayi! Nayi! Ata! Ata, Nayi! Ata!
Yeah, so whole trick is to interact. This is the big brother and this is the little brother. And if we let this go, we can see that if we move the left stick, we're moving the big brother. If we move the right stick, we're moving the little brother. No, I actually didn't walk this way. I wonder if there's anything here. Let's look at the depth of this. And while this is a very linear game, it really allows you to explore the small areas that are available. Like for instance, right, what we did right now. We were supposed to go this way and bring our father to a hospital somewhere, but we were allowed to just go back and pray to our mother's grave. It's not like a major set of freedom, but it's freedom nonetheless. Now here's the thing, if we're moving the cart, I can either pull it with the little brother, or I can push it with the big brother, or they can work in unison, and they're more efficient that way. And they can also move in individual directions, but when they work in unison and towards the same goal, that's when they're the most effective. Even though they're skating about a little bit. Now, controlling two characters with one thumbstick each is actually quite difficult at times. It tests your ambidexterity very well, especially if you're not ambidextrous. It becomes really confusing at times, and you simply have to I have to pull this down before you... Hey, grab it. Oh, there we go. You have to stop and think what you're doing. You can't just keep going at some points because it just gets too confusing. But yeah, like that. Let's see. Now we got a boost up here. There we go, and climb up. Now, you can be more efficient by controlling them both at a time, but like I said, it gets really confusing, and it's way easier to just control one at a time. Now, the puzzles for the small pieces of this game that I actually explored already is not difficult at all, but they are engaging.
Mafi Sadi Abaya? Vida Wade. Ada? Tai. Haru Saiki. Wela Tarida. Amarai Fikano. Ladafi. Talem. Omaru. Kurusabe. Kite. Otolade. Miyaki Abadi.
Naya, Taliru,
Now the music is in this game is just beautifully done, and I guess I'm a sucker for it, but it just, that chanting and just make everything so intense and so impactful. This guy right here, he's an a-hole. So what we gotta do is we gotta get past him somehow, and yeah, you encounter a few of these slopes, which basically are points of no return. So if you go down the slope, you can't walk back up it. And now we find out that he can't swim because of what happened with his mother, and he never learned to swim. But this is the part where we use the strength of one brother and the weakness of the other brother. What we do is the little brother hangs on to the big brother, and the big brother does all the swimming. Very simply, just gonna swim to the next shore. Yeah, quit your whining, get up there. And that guy is a douche. See? Told you. Some of you may be wondering if that's actually Swedish, as the game is developed in Sweden, but that is not any Swedish I've ever heard of. It's very nonsensical. Now, the game has a very interesting art style, but the colors in some places makes me question why they did them the way they did. Because, for instance, here, you have this rose or whatever it is right here, which makes me believe that it would be some sort of a secret or something. But if we interact with it, we're just being a douche, and we're destroying a pot. But, you know, see, control the camera by rotating with the left and right button instead of the left and right trigger. Here's the thing. If Big Brother interacts, something may happen. And if Little Brother interacts, something else may happen. The Big Brother just sits down there, relaxes a bit. Well, in this case, the Little Brother did the same thing. Yeah, so let's just keep going for now. This is where it gets tricky. Since the Big Brother was on the right side of the screen and the Little Brother was on the left side, then my brain gets confused, and I think I'm controlling the Little Brother with the left stick, but that's Big Brother, and vice versa. Whoops, did not mean to do that. So yeah, that's how the game gets a little bit tricky at times, because it messes with your mind, and yeah, they do a bunch of small stuff that I'm not I'm not sure what if there's just interaction for interaction's sake, or if there's actually any form of meaning to it. And this part right here was actually quite interesting, because the first time I played it, I went across with the Little Brother first and made him go all the way across, and I was trying not to fall down. Then I went over with the Big Brother as the second player, or rather he went second. Then I tried to fall down and I couldn't. So there's a false sense of danger here that was actually engaging, and made me focused and make sure that I didn't fall down. And that guy's being a douche. So, the Big Brother was the one doing the swimming, but he's too big to fit through here. However, Little Bro is not. He actually fits. So what he can do is go up to this crankshaft here and crank this up. Release the dogs. Now we know who let the dogs out. And that I found weird the first time as well. Why did I warp both characters here? Why couldn't I have just played that part? Oh well. Let's keep going. No, it gives you some freedom. I mean, we're supposed to go to the left over there, but we were able to go down here just to have a look. So it's gently guiding you the way that you're supposed to go, but it doesn't really limit you with invisible walls. Yeah, go bite them. And you see the color of these roses. They really look like you're supposed to do something with them, but apparently not. They're just colorful roses. And now I'm getting confused again. I'm running in the wrong direction. Meh. I can just play with the cat a little bit. And if little brother does it. Oh. Ah, that's so sweet. I'm not sure how much Mr. Fares had to do with the art direction, but whoever did the art direction for this game really came through, because this is very beautiful. It's a semi-cartoonish style, and it's working very well. Now this is a bit funny. And what do you do if you're a respectable teenager and you just want help to get across the bridge? What do? You send in Little Brother, because when he interacts with stuff, he's a menace. That is just rude. Well, at least now he's up. Here, we're looking for this, please. Oh, I'm sorry to bother you, sir. We're just trying to save our father's life. We're just gonna do a little bit more here, because we're soon caught up with what we actually managed to play in our first try. Let's see. We're trying to do some of the things. Okay, I can sweep here. Why are you sweeping the dirt, though? What are you trying to accomplish? I'm trying to explore some of the things that I didn't try last time. That is not helping. And we can play some basketball. We did this last time. Let's see if I can't score a hoop this time. Nope. Oh, let's just keep going instead. Here, I can take the long route, or I can take this little mini path. Oh, and I did not know that. I've been running so close to each other this whole time that if they get separated, they're gonna get upset and wait for each other, and then you gotta gather them up again. And a squirrel. Now, are there any secrets in this game? I do not know, because I haven't found any. That does not mean that there aren't any. And push. There we go. Just need to open it enough. Now, here's one of the things last time I went down there to down there to the guy playing the harp. The big brother can't play the harp, little brother can play the harp. If we do, he gets all excited, but is there any reason to go down there? Not that we actually found out. It was nice that we could go down there, but there's no function to it. Here, we're looking for this, sir. Oh, you don't know help. The environments are really beautiful. Not only through the art style, but the actual environments are beautiful. So, this is a jewel puzzle. He's supposed to distract that guy while we jump this way. We may actually be able to run all the way over here first. Yeah, there we go. And while you're distracted with him over there, we can get up here. And since I've done this before, I can actually skip a few of these. Whoops. I actually do not know if we can fail this somehow. If the dog catches us, does anything happen?
Hey!
Let's go for broke. And we're done.
Hey!
Let's not try. Here we have one of those slopes again, which is basically a checkpoint of some sort. Because if we go down the slope, then we can't go back. Meaning that it's a point of no return. And we've done this before. We've climbed vines before. So basically the first stage was just a quick tutorial on how to work it. And now we gotta do it live, so to speak. This is also the thing. Could we have walked another path and still gotten across by swimming or something? Do not know. Most likely not, though. It does seem like they're presenting an illusion of freedom, but they're actually not allowing you to do that much. And now we're trying to be efficient by controlling both characters at once, but that is messing with my brain, and I simply cannot do it. Not enough in an effective manner, anyway. And that is some great dexterity right there. Oh, bunnies. Now, we made it over here pretty quickly this time, because in our last playthrough, we just sat down here. Come on. Alright, we said hello to Mr. Birdie. And then the little spoiled brat of a kid let it go. Then we actually sat down and enjoyed the view. Well, I'm supposed to be able to do it with, yeah, both characters. So this is where we would have left you in our previous playthrough, recommending Brothers Tale of Two Sons. Well, let's do one more puzzle and one more little brain teaser, just so that you get to see us try something that we haven't done before. Oh, and he has to keep running while it... Oh! So I gotta keep that thumbstick in that direction while I do whatever I'm supposed to do here. So I can pet the sheep, but I can't, like, carry it over or something? Come on, little sheepy. Nope, apparently not. Okay, what if we switch brothers? You run on the wheel. And you try to interact with the sheep. There we go. Okay, how many do we need? And are we just supposed to place him here? And if we place them there, can we actually walk past them? That was just funny. Oh, I'm sorry, little sheep. Meh. Okay, so what are we doing here? Can we place a sheep in this thing? We could. Oh, there we go. Imagine that. We're looking for this, sir, and it's, yeah, I imagine it would be that way because we just saw the puzzle in that direction. But what's going on this way? Except for a white bunny and some black bunnies. Oh, he is just a menace. Why would you pick up the bunny by the ears? Yeah, scoot, scoot. And I can't really do anything with it. Ah. Such a bratty little brother. He bugs me every day. And this one morning, our own mother gave my last cupcake away. See, this is where the ambidextrous stuff gets a little bit tricky to this way, that way, that way. It's a brain teaser, basically. Yeah, now what? This looks somewhat unhealthy. And I do believe I hear someone crying. That is an ogre.
Hey, Maru!
Maru, wanadi da? Sa?
Da, ja.
Now what? Do I get to control all three? No, he's just gonna walk. Anyway. So, we have an ogre. And what he's gonna do is... Oh. He's gonna... That was Why couldn't we have done something for him? I mean, he was just sitting there crying. Yeah, one thing this game does really well is tell a story without the use of words. It's not a mute game, but it's very emotive. All the mimicry and stuff is very nicely done. And just look at how beautiful this game is. And that's actually what we're gonna leave you with. So this has been Brothers, a story of two sons. A single-player co-op game where you control one brother with each thumbstick. Then you solve some puzzles and try to save your father by finding the water of life. So until next time, happy gaming. And some scenes from that movie actually made it into the meme verse, because there's this scene where the cop is just juggling a gun with his pants and is just kicking it on his knees and is playing hacky sack with it. You can notice that this guy, he grew up in the 80s and 90s. I mean, he knows his audience and he delivers for his audience. And the way that people talk, the way that people act, it really shows that he is a part of his generation and not just some guy that is making movies. He's actually telling a story that is relatable to people of the same age that grew up in the same kind of that had the same kind of upbringing when it comes to the pop culture and media and stuff like that. So that might be why this game is getting such critical acclaim, because I do believe that he understands what he's doing with a video game. He's not a movie director that just wants to tell a story and decided to make a video game. He actually knows what a video game is supposed to be. But I don't know that yet. We'll have to find out. Let's listen to what else the game has to say about itself. Control both brothers at once as you experience co-op play in single-player mode, like never before. Solve puzzles. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Indy 500 project. Today's experiment is Brothers, A Tale of Two Sons, which has a little interesting background. It is published by 505 Games, but it's developed by Starbreeze Studios. Starbreeze are the creators of the Riddick games, or the Riddick game, and that they kind of redid for the later years then. But they're a little bit of a bigger studio, but apparently this one falls under the guise of indie. And people have been raving about this game, and from what I've heard, it is a really good game. And this might be the reason right here. Listen to this. Guide two brothers on an epic fairy tale journey from visionary Swedish film director Josef Fares and top-tier developer Starbreeze Studios. Now, Josef Fares is a very successful Swedish movie director for his audience. And if you look at his movies, I think that his most biggest claim to fame would actually be the movie Cops, which is a Swedish movie about just some small-time police officers. Puzzles, explore the varied location and fight boss battles, controlling one brother with each thumbstick. This is a note. I'm playing with a 360 controller, and as far as I know, there's no other way to control this game. You have to have a controller of some sort. And you control one guy with one thumbstick and the other guy with the other thumbstick. So we're gonna explore that later on. A man clinging to life, his two sons, desperate to cure the ailing father, are left with but one option. They must set out upon a journey to find and bring back the water of life, as they come to rely on another to survive. One must be strong where the other is weak, brave where the other is fearful. They must be brothers. This is one journey you will never